hypnotherapist, a life coach, and a public speaker. I empower people to overcome their limiting beliefs and their fears so they can live a life of freedom and joy. 9 years ago, I returned to England from Germany with 3 children and 3 bags, prepared to start my life again. And that journey to this day has been absolute exponential growth and been amazing, because I decided to invest in myself and give myself the opportunity to live the life that I truly value. And I challenge you to know your own worth and invest in yourself so that you too can live the life that you love, the life that you deserve, the life that you need to live every day. Is hypnotherapy or life coaching for you? If I tell you that my youngest client is 5 and my oldest 67, and I've worked with everybody in between, the ideal client for me is the person that really wants more out of life, that is committed to being the very best version of themselves. Is that person you? Only you can decide.
How are you all doing on a Thursday? Oh. So I should say good day, good afternoon, good morning, good night, hello, wherever you are around the world picking this up, and the radio station that has gone live on, which I'll give you the news later on, that apart from just now standing in my truth as a YouTube channel and a podcast channel, we are now attached to a radio station. So most of the programs that you now see, you'll be able to pick it up on live radio. But I'll give you that news later on, or better yet, I should say, I'll give you that news right at the end of the show. As you can see, I have an extraordinary lady joining me later on. Now, she lives in the sticks. And when the rain falls, it's like anyone that lives in the countryside would know that when the rain falls, it's just awful. You just can't get any reception. But we've tried and tested, and it seems like my shows each week I have like glitches. But listen, nothing before its time. So you just saw the video a while ago of the wonderful Anne-Marie Wickham. She is an extraordinary lady, really extraordinary lady, and she's going to join me very shortly. But I wanted to just say hello to everyone out there, hoping that life is treating you well. I want to make sure I pour some positivity right now into this show before we catch up. I know that I've cracked onto blinking EastEnders or something. I always seem to pick the time that everybody's going to go and watch soaps. I don't watch soaps, so obviously you can see that my timing is just so bad whatsoever. But Anne-Marie, she'll be joining me very, very shortly. So hopefully those who have checked in, hello. Tell me, anyone in the chat room, I'm waiting for people to join in. I can see the numbers coming up. Join me. Come in. This show is one that's probably going to make you cry. You're going to have laughter. She is a bag of everything. Let me see. Hi, Jim Jones. I can see who's joined me and those in the chat room. This show could be a bit of everything. She's calling me. 1 second. Oh, and we're live on the air. Hello, darling. You're supposed to be live, not ringing me. Yeah. Hey. Okay, well, the host is right here. I don't know where you are, but I'm watching you, and you're actually live. I'm talking to you live. And so Andrew's here with me. So I would say to you, log out, log back in again, and I can see you in the green room. Can't wait. I've just been giving you a lovely big up, darling. And I've never done that before. I'm talking to him on my phone, on live. Get out of here. No, I can't see you. You're going to have to log out and log back in again. All right. See you in a bit. Bye. Now that's a first. That is an absolute first. Because you can't see me. I can't see you. But anyway, let's be professional about this. Anne-Marie Wickham, beautiful, beautiful lady. And I'm hoping that there's something in there that you'll take away from this show today. She is a clinical hypnotherapist. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I saw hypnotherapist, am I a believer? I don't know. Do I want to be a believer? I don't know. But then I realized that that's not what she only did. That she actually, I don't know. I think I wanted to be the converted. I think that's the thing. So, I can see why she can't get into the chat room. So, look, this is what I'm now going to do. And a lot of people are going to think, where's she gone? I haven't gone anywhere. Bear with me. We're back.
The energy.
Oh no, Deborah Ashmo, sorry. Oh no, I can't see or hear anything. Deborah, if you can see us now, give us the thumbs up. But we are now back live on air.
Coming at you.
And actually, that was my fault.
Boo-hoo.
It was my fault this time. Imagine, we did all the sound checks, everything was great. We actually had a big gassing conversation for nearly half an hour, and everything was like, woo-hoo. Bless up, Natasha. I can see you, baby girl. How you all doing? Come on, everybody else, back into the chat room. We're ever so sorry. So sorry.
It's going to be so worth waiting for. Honestly, all good. Thank you, Natasha.
Right, I think, I don't know who missed out. Excellent. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much. You can hear it now. Okay, great. Everybody, I have now got the wonderful Anne-Marie Wickham in the house.
I'm so excited.
I'm like, yes, folks, you should have worked out by now. Valerie's nuts. Okay, so if you're watching at EastEnders, I'm ever so sorry. If you're watching, is it Emmerdale or whatever it is, switch off, because this woman is going to absolutely have you in on your knees. Well, I might have her on her knees, but I'm just going to breathe some positivity out there into the air tonight, as I said to you earlier. So we're going to breathe. Spirituality out to everybody out there. Nothing but love that we're sending me from myself to Anne-Marie, to everyone out there, no matter what you're going through, your inner thoughts, namaste, everything, peace, love, and harmony. You know, whatever you hear today, accept it, breathe it. You don't have to believe it. This is just all about us talking about spirituality. Now, without further ado, because I know people are going to want to watch their program at 9:30. Is there a celebrity? Get me out of here. But anyway.
She's here. She's already out. Stay here.
Right. So yeah, let's hope this energy goes all the way to everybody else.
It will, absolutely.
For those who really don't know Anne-Marie Wickham, I mean, I've got like little graphics and stuff like that, but I'm going to throw this out there so everyone can see it first before Anne-Marie goes bleh. But who is Anne-Marie Wickham? And I'm sure everyone's asking the same question. Anne-Marie's from Essex. She's one of Essex Hypnotherapy. You know, she runs the Essex Hypnotherapy Centre. She's a certified master clinician in hypnotherapist, master of NLP life coach. She's also a disc trainer. Now, I'm sure people are going to ask me, a disc trainer? Yeah, because I'm going to ask that question as well. And she's an empowerment and confidence workshop facilitator with a wealth of work and life experience in the area of personal development and achievement. Okay. Now, I know that Anne-Marie's passion is personal development and it stems. And I'm going to stop right there because this show is about Anne-Marie and I want you to take over. Anne-Marie, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Valerie.
You're welcome.
It's so lovely to have the tables turned. The last time we met, it was me interviewing you on the stage, and now we've totally changed roles. So that's nice. You're in control, Valerie.
Well,
be kind to me.
You inspired me. Please tell the audience that are checking in at this stage, who are you, my darling?
Who am I? I am if I was to say one sentence, it would sum me up. I'm a healer of restless souls. I was a restless soul for a very long time. Yeah. Somebody else, one of my clients, actually, I was looking for a tag name for my website that's just been built, and she called it Queen Bee, the Queen of Being the Real You, because that's what one of my programs is called, Be the Real You. And it was really clever the way that she did it. But Queen Bee, be yourself, just be you.
I like that too.
Yeah. Ooh. I've got some clever clients, I have to say.
Oh my God. Come on, tell me more. Okay.
So I am a master clinical hypnotherapist, but I really don't feel that resonates with who I put myself forward as. I'm more of a connector with people. And through my journey, particularly over the last 2 years, of becoming very spiritual, and I did a big live on this the other day saying about, there's no spiritual is just a name. Don't fall into have to be a Buddhism or a thisism, just be yourself. But if I was to align myself to any label, I've become a lot more spiritual, and the way that I work with people is a lot more spiritual. It's not by the book, okay? And in fact, one of my clients said, Anne-Marie doesn't work like your average GP, but she performs better than your average GP, because I'm not we're all formed, so we're going to stand here formally and you have that chair and I have that chair. I'm really not about that. I'm really about honestly connecting my heart with your heart and raising you up to a level where you feel that you can go and take on the world. That's my sole purpose in life.
Yeah, that's your purpose.
Absolutely.
Okay. With that being said, because there's so much more that I'm going to delve into, and because I know when you're ready, you will just go, Rrr. But I'm going to take you right back. Okay. The question I'm going to ask is really, what is your story? And the story is, from a young age, you were 2 years old, if I'm correct.
That's right.
And you went into care.
Yeah.
How do you know it was 2 years old? Who told you? What's the story?
Do you know what? I've got an absolutely, some people wouldn't agree with this, especially my clients. I have actually got a really brilliant memory for the past.
Right.
With the present day.
Yeah.
But I remember my childhood, pretty much every second of it, because it was really traumatic. And I just remember all the different things that happened. I remember at 2 years old, I lived in Sydenham Hill. I don't know if you know Sydenham.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a beautiful children's home there, and it was on the hill. And I remember it so well because I can remember looking out, because it was on Sydenham Hill, and the beautiful view from the window, from the bunk beds where me and my sister were in
wow.
And I remember standing downstairs in the front room, the room which was for everybody, and my mum coming to, I don't know if it was actually leaving me there for the first time or whether she was visiting, but I remember being 2 and looking up at her and thinking, wow, she's really tall. That's a child's mind, because I've actually got a photograph of her and she was 4'11". So clearly I was that small that I thought, wow, she's so tall. This beautiful bronze goddess with her hair on her head. She was so beautiful, right? And I'm doing that because I just remembered I've got a photograph of her, and everyone always says, she looks just like you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's very faded, right? I've had that I got that from my mum's funeral. When I was 13, she died, and I was allowed to go to her funeral. And I'd never met her, only when I was 2. And they said, you can take 3 things out of her house. and I was 13. I didn't know what to take. And you'll laugh when I tell you, I took this photograph. I took a peach twin set, handmade cardigan and tank top, and I took a tease made because I thought it was very grown up.
Yeah.
And those are the three things that I travelled back on the train all the way back to Swanley from Harlow. That's what I took away from the funeral. Yeah, I remember so much of my childhood, and I feel grateful that I remember it all, because to know such tragedy and trauma allows me to have the polar opposite of joy and bliss, which is what I live every day now. So I don't look back to the past and regret it. I look back to the past and I respect it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, because I guess with looking back on the past, it makes you the person you are today. So, all right, then, here you are, a 2-year-old. You've got into care, and it's up to you how much you want to divulge. Do you know why your mother got you into care?
My mum had 7 children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she only kept 2 of them.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if my sister's here tonight. She's not on. So my sister, and I only met my sister 8 years ago, and we're really, obviously we love each other now, we're sisters, but we had to create that relationship between ourselves. My mum and dad were both from St. Vincent. My dad was a prolific man in St. Vincent. My grandfather's in a lot of news reels about St. Vincent. He built an orphanage. He built a home for unmarried mothers. He had 13 children himself. And the one thing I know that I think he would regret is that he built a massive empire. My grandfather, Basil Balcombe, died in 1976 with £165 million. We were in care at the same time. He didn't know where we were. So guess what? When in a country like St. Vincent, if they cannot find the relatives, and I don't think they look that hard, that money then goes back to the state of St. Vincent.
Right, absolutely.
So I probably own that airport, because look how long they took to build it. But yeah, so I think she.
I knew you were going to make me laugh.
I think she thought my dad would rescue her. And I think my dad thought she was just another girl that wanted him because of who he was.
He was,
you know?
Yeah.
But he did marry her, so he must have thought something of her. And they came to England.
Yeah.
And then they lived in Lewisham, and then he went off and left her. And then she just bounced around. But you know what? Sadly, as we often see, she bounced around having one child with this man. That didn't work. So going to have back in the day, I really think that women believed that having a child would keep a man.
Yes, they did. But it wasn't the case, was it?
I think it's sometimes the polar opposite. As soon as a child comes on the scene, they're like, bye. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
So she got it all wrong. I think she had mental health problems. I don't know, because I never met her. But what I feel about her is that she was very troubled. And I've done a lot of work myself personally to clear ancestral stuff that I've carried for mother, grandmother. I feel that there's a lot that I have been able to eliminate, sort of disperse, you know. But
we're going to, and I really want you to, as I said, it's all about you, and it's standing in your truth. So it's totally up to you how much you really want the world to know. But I guess, as you always as you said to me when I first met you, is to acknowledge, accept, and let it go.
Yeah.
And don't let it be attachment to you.
Yeah.
So you did you ever get the chance to meet your mother's or your father, any side of that family? You know, I won't go too deep. I'm just
I mean, it's been a glorious story, and it really is about letting go. The moment that you let go, you allow so much to come into your life. I've met my mother's sister, who lives in Queens in New York. 3 years ago, I took the children. We went and stayed with her. I've met my mother's brother. I've met my mother's sister's children. They live in Reading. I have a whole family that I'm now part of, because I was brave enough to let go of the past story and create a new story for the future, which is exactly what I encourage my clients to do. Yes, it was painful. Yes, it shouldn't have happened like that. but it did. So what can you salvage out of that to create something
better,
beautiful? Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so there you are, 2-year-old, and you're now in this orphanage. So was it an orphanage you went to, or was it that you had a home? Did you go to an actual, family, a foster family, or just the home itself?
It's 1967, not 1927. Orphanage.
But I be told.
No, they were children's homes. Do you know what? I'm probably speaking out of turn here, but I love children's homes. I really did. Like, you've got loads of mates, yeah, and you're allowed to do what you want, and you get fed, and you get pocket money, and you can have fights with the staff. I mean,
are you actually advocating to get kids to go into?
Sorry, it was awful. Every minute of it was awful. But the thing is, Valerie, right, you carry this story around. I was in care and I was in this children's home. But actually, when I started speaking to other people that had mums and dads, I kind of think, my life was a little bit better than yours, and you had a mum and dad. Mm-hmm. In fact, me and my sister were in a children's home. We were in a foster home together. And the guy was a black man and a white woman. Very cruel, sadistic man. Really cruel. I mean, things like, 4 years old being put in a scalding hot bath by my feet,
Valerie.
and being told, if you don't sit down by the time I come back, I will put you down. Yeah, things like that. And so when I eventually got sent away from that foster home, and I remember it clearly, I was taken back to social services, 13th floor. And he sat me down on a seat, and he went to the counter, and I don't know what he said. He must have said, I don't want her anymore. I'm going. And I remember him walking to the lift, and I watched the back of him, and I knew he wouldn't turn around, and I knew that would be the last time I saw him. And I was happy. I was happy because I thought, I'm not going to have to be subjected to that anymore. But I then went on to another children's home, and my sister, the man and the woman, brought my sister, who stayed there till she was 17. They brought her to see me at the children's home. And I can remember, I know I shouldn't laugh, but when I was at that home, when I was at that family's home, we got presents like paper dolls. Do you remember that? You're too young. But you got a book, and it had a doll in it. And you cut the doll out of paper. Yeah. And then you cut the clothes out, and you put the tabs on. Like, come on. You're not that poor, right?
I just thought.
And then when I went into the children's home and I got a real dolly, like a 3D one, like a real one that I could hold, I was like, wow. And my sister's still coming with her paper book, with her paper doll. And she's like, can you get me in here? I was like, no, you can't be as bad as me. We laugh about it now, but
stories, even though you got the little stories that made up for the anguish that went with it as well. Do you know what I mean? I've got paper dolls in my head now.
Yeah. They're cute, yeah.
I got paper dolls in my head. Do you remember when it's a cut it out? You have your little.
I was just thinking that I could do with some more decorations.
Is that your
it's really funny because some of the punishments that you used to get, you can't believe that I can remember being Lisgard Lodge was another one in Blackheath, and I was done something wrong again, and it was a massive big dining room, and it had patterned wallpaper, and my punishment was to sit down and count the pattern on the wallpaper. And I did. Like, am I stupid? I could have just said 3,472,000. I know they didn't count it. But, when you're young, you don't know, do you? So I didn't think I was in a bad situation. I often felt sad. I often felt alone. I often felt lonely. I think that was the overriding feeling I had of who's for me.
That's
who's about me.
What was anguish? So do you know what I mean? Here you are. I'm using the, excuse me how I use the terms. You're bouncing around. There's no stability. Yeah. So you're with someone probably 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then you go to someone else. So there's nothing. There's no standing ground. There's no foundation. You had to create your own foundation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How? When did you come? Do you know what I mean? How did you manage to do that?
Because I think, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm a parent and youth mentor, and I work with a lot of young children.
But you weren't able to do that then. So
what I understand was, and that's why I can work with children now, is because what I understand is that I actually, I have ADHD. Okay, it's just a
I
label.
was going to come to that as well. Yeah,
I don't really use it that much because I've been able to override it. But for many years, that was my label. And I honestly believe that there are two types of ADHD. My son has ADHD. His is clinical ADHD. But I also think there's traumatic ADHD. I feel that I developed ADHD as a tool, a survival tool, because when you have ADHD, you it's like, manic depression. You swing like a pendulum, very, very happy, excited, energetic, to the opposite, the polar opposite.
So it's like a bipolarish similar situation.
Yeah, and I've been diagnosed with all of them, love. I just say, hang it on the door. But to have this, having ADHD allowed me to bounce back quick every time. I'd be very sad, crying, and then I go, oh well, that's that, and I go back into happy again. And I truly believe I developed that as a coping mechanism. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, survival mode, isn't it?
Absolutely,
call it survival mode, and to the point that you don't know that. But anyway, it's not about me. I'm trying to get, I humanize as much as I know you. I'm teasing it out of you. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But so, you've gone this far, and that's your coping mechanism. So even when you know that wrongs have been done to you, you can't scream at anybody.
No.
Did you didn't retaliate? I'm sure you had times when you retaliated and did badly wrong. How did that go?
I'm looking at some of the comments when you were young, best years of her life. This lady Natasha saying, for me, the same thing. Like, really, excuse me, because I'm talking from my 7-8-year-old self. I'm not talking from my big, mature, clinical hypnotherapist voice. But I was young, and you could do what you liked. And if a member of staff if you wanted to get rid of that anger, you would just, cause a situation where one of the staff would have to say, we're going to have to restrain you. And I go, yeah, come on, man. And you end up having a fight, you see? Yeah. So I was able to get through all. That's why I'm not stuck, because I was able to get rid of all. I was a good fighter.
I was going to say you were Tegger egg.
I was.
You remember that word? Tegger egg.
I was.
In other words, you were very terrible.
I was. They would say, big vulture. I say, yeah.
Big vulture, Love it. No, I love it. So you took it on and still was able to try and not let as I said, I keep using the word, the anguish.
Yeah.
But I recall you saying to me when I was researching you, it's deep. Well, I remember you researching and saying, I need to find what is for me.
Yeah.
What is it for me?
Yeah.
When did you finally come out of the foster homes? Did you live with one particular?
I was in 14 different foster homes, parents, and so the second to last
14.
One, 14. Because you see, I thought it was a superpower, and my superpower was I didn't have parents, right? And the reason why it was my superpower is because every children's home I went to, or foster home, that the other children would get threatened. If you don't behave, you're not going to go and see your parents. Well, you couldn't say that to me. So I did exactly what I wanted to do. And it just, the homes that I went to gradually got worse and worse and worse and worse, until I went to a convent in Eltham, Ave Maria it was called. And it was a lockup. It was locked up every night. And that really was my last chance saloon. They found me one more foster parent who came to see me, and they said, if you don't make this one work, then you are going to be out. That's it. You're going to be locked up properly, women's ball stall. So this last foster home that was in Swanley in Kent really was my last chance. And I took it. I was 14 and I went there, and I stayed there till I was 17, to my 17th birthday. And then, I don't know if you know.
What did you do? What happened to after that?
Well, it's very unceremonious, Valerie. It's very unceremonious. Honestly, on my birthday, they said, right, we've got you a flat in Sydenham, brand new, can't complain. Brand new flat in Sydenham. You've got £500, goodbye. And it literally is goodbye. You can't take anything with you.
You're gone.
That's it. I went to home base. I bought, I'm thinking I've got to get carpets for the whole flat or furniture or pots to eat out of. £500, even in 1984, didn't go that far.
Right.
Yeah. So that's literally what happens. You get given accommodation, and then you spend the rest of your time trying to hold on to it because you're not given any coping skills. You don't understand how to write a checkbook. You don't understand that the gas isn't free. I got caught with that a couple of times. When I've called them out, the big old British gas, come fix me. And they go, right, that's £200. I go, what? It's free. Everybody else got it free. No. I said, well, I didn't see anybody pay any bills. I said, well, you didn't ask. No one gives you that information. So I actually went and became a senior outreach worker for the leaving care team. And I built programs to support young people.
How old were you then when you did that? What was you?
Oh, no, I was 36.
Right. Okay. So before we get to that then, when you came out, you've got your first flat.
Yep.
With folks listening to this woman's story, you've come out of the homes and you became homeless.
Well, it didn't happen straight away. I came out. I got my first job as a bus conductor in Peckham Garage.
Lie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I saw you. I loved it. It's the best job I ever had. Bus conductor. Oh yeah. I used to be able to swing the machine around with one hand. I thought I was boss. Honestly, I did think I was so good. And then I graduated, and became the youngest bus driver in London in 1986 because I was only 21, and I was the first female youngest bus driver in London. And yeah, I thought, on a bus.
I told you, folks, this woman is just too, she's a lot. But go on, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just had such good fun. It was like the 80s. We just had fun, didn't we? Right? And it was just a really good time. And I suppose I was free for the first time. I was earning good money because the buses was good money back then. I only had, rent was £35 a week. I was living the life of Riley. But as you know, you have to go home at some point. And that's when the emptiness, that's when it all comes back. When you close your doors, like many people, not just me, and like many people probably now, they might look happy and smiling when they're out, but once that door is closed, the real self, the mask comes off and you become who you really are. And I became that very empty, soulless, sad, rejected, dejected person that just felt, why can't I find somebody that wants me for me? I was on this constant search to fill myself up with love, but I didn't know how. I looked for it in all the wrong places, as a lot of women don't understand how to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I kind of rolled around for a long time, and then I did meet somebody, and I'm ashamed to say I'm married for security. I didn't marry for.
I don't know why you say ashamed, because at that time people were doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Our parents did that.
Yeah.
Our parents married some of our parents.
Yeah.
Security, especially who came from the West Indies.
Yeah.
It's unheard of to be walking around pregnant or have a child out of wedlock.
Yeah.
So you find that some of the children didn't even belong to the husband they're married to.
Exactly.
They needed. So please don't use that word that you're ashamed.
Yeah.
A lot of women do say
society's norms. It went against society's norms, but I did it because I wanted a family. I wanted children. I wanted the happy ever after that I believed was the, what society constantly throws at us through the media, the white picket fence, the house, the detached house, the 2.4 kids, the dog. I wanted all of those things. And I really thought it's not going to happen for me. So I'm going to take the first opportunity I get, which is what I did. And I had my lovely children, which obviously that was exactly the reason why I did what I did, because I got them and they're an absolute blessing. And then I decided, right, they were 2 and 3 and my eldest was 11. I thought, I'm not bringing them up in London. This was the time of the Catford bus boys and the Forest Hill gangsters, when there was all that bus wars going on. Remember? And I thought, I'm not bringing my children up like this. And so I said, right, I'm going to find someone else. Yeah. So I got my then husband a job in Germany. I sent him off there for a year to gets the foundation.
How did you manage to go to Germany? Yeah, is that how you got to go to Germany?
Yeah, I did it, Valerie. I just said I'm doing it, and I was running 2 businesses at the time, really good businesses, Pyramid Event Management. I supplied stewards to work on large events, so I was earning a lot of money, and that's why I sent him over there with money to set it all up for us. And I was still working here, running 2 businesses and looking after 3 kids. I don't even know how I did that. And then he found us a house, and I said, right, we're emigrating. We upped and left. We didn't leave everything. We actually took it with us. But that was us. We went off to Germany. And I mean, even the journey to get to Germany, you know, on the 20th, we went on the 23rd of December. On the 21st of December, I'm in Lewisham. I'm shopping. I've just taken out £14,000 out of the bank and 7,000 euros. I've got the passports in my bag. I'm as joyous as can be. I'm going to buy a few bits for the new house in Germany. We're in Marks and Spencer's in Lewisham. I've got my big son with me, 2 children in a pushchair. Bag hang over the side. Don't know who I thought I was. Lot of scammers going around at the time. Oh, help me, help me. Me being the kind person that I am, help them. Vroom, bag's gone. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you, Valerie. I have never ever cried like that, as much as I cried and as long as I cried as I did that day. 3 days to go before we emigrated. The furniture had gone, everything had gone, and I'd lost everything. That was 2005. 2005. And I went, and they just built the police station across the road. So I literally went there, and I just remember my son saying, Mum, you've got to calm down. You've got to be able to tell them what happened. And not even that, you know, all coming back, but actually they took my handbag, and we had a Renault Espace then, which was £14,000 worth of car.
Yeah.
Car keys are in the bag, aren't they? Obviously. So we can't even get home, right? It was the worst day of my whole life. Really was. There's not been a day as bad as that since. But we, you know, so a really good friend of mine, I sent him up to Petit, France, because you could do that then. He got us new passports. We got a taxi from Lewisham, took us all the way to Stansted, and picked up my friend on the way with the passports. And you know what Ryanair's like? They love it, don't they? Closed, you know, one set closed. And literally we had like 3 minutes, and I was running with the children, and I was saying to the taxi driver, I need to pay you. And he's like, no, you need to get on the plane. And we're running, and I literally slapped the desk, and I said, we're in. And she went, just by 2 minutes. And I thought, well, you know what I mean? So what? And that's it. We went to Germany. We went to have a whole new life. You know, it was absolutely beautiful. They'd never seen my little beige babies. They kept touching them, touching their hair. Oh, so cute. Oh, so cute. No, they're not Chinese, actually. So forget that accent. Forget that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's idyllic in Germany. They love children. They love family. And it's brilliant when you have money in your pocket.
But then you didn't.
No, because my husband finally gave me the evidence that I needed so that I could leave him. Well, I didn't leave him. I told him get out. And he and I remember his parting words to me were, he said something like the Scooby-Doo. If it wasn't for them pesky kids, we would have worked. And I was like,
oh, wow.
I said, I had to say, are you joking? If it wasn't for them pesky kids, you wouldn't still be here for as long as you've been here. That was it. We were done. I stayed out there for another 2 years by myself, which was really hard, not speaking the language. Oh, no money. We got evicted so many times. It works differently out there. It's really, really hard. I went to claim benefits, but you can't claim benefits unless you speak German. You have to speak the language. So literally, I went home and I bought a book, and I had to learn 5 phrases. I've got no money. I need support. I've got children. We're homeless. That's the 5 phrases I learned in German.
Right.
And we went back there because I went there about 4 times to say to them, look, you need to help us. And they were like, du nicht sprech Deutsch, du must sprechen Deutschland. And I was like, what? And then she brought out a piece of paper, right? And on it was written in German. I was like, ich nicht verstanden. I don't understand. And she turned it over, and in English it said, the language of this company, the language of this country is German. If you do not speak German, we cannot have a conversation with you. You need to get a translator. That's what it said in English. I was fuming. I went,
could you imagine if we did that here?
Well, I said that at the time. To be fair, I did say that at the time. Yeah, they don't mess about, love. That's why it's a beautiful country. They don't mess about. You know.
Yeah.
We went back and I learnt these phrases, and I came back and I was so. That's where I get my resilience from. I came back. I was like, right, yeah, come on then, right. Hello, wie geht's? My name is Maria. Yeah, this way. And I didn't prepare for the answers. I just had the questions. Da 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 da, and they're going blah blah. I go. Next question, and I made them listen to it. And do you know what? Then it was a woman, and right at the end of that really painful conversation, to get them to understand what I was saying, she turned around. She said, "Thank you very much." I know, right? I know.
She understood everything you were saying.
Absolutely. The 5 times that I'd been there, she'd understood everything I'd said. They'd sent me home 5 times, and I know. And I just think. That was a time, oh my gosh, I can feel it in my tummy. That time, I so didn't know my own power. I didn't know what I could create. I was helpless and hopeless and just broken in so many ways. Honestly, so many ways. I could never have imagined in a billion years that I could ever end up where I am today. Yeah. But that is through the grace of really deciding, and it was a decision, deciding this is not my life. And Les Brown, you know, you are not defined by your circumstances. Come on. Let's yeah. Well, that's where when I started listening to him when I came back. So I was out there for 6 years. It's okay.
And then you decided that's enough. What was the straw that broke the camel's back in Germany that you took yourself back with your 3 children, bags in hand, nowhere to live, no job prospect, nothing? What was that?
I'll tell you, you won't believe it. What happened was, obviously my son now is 16, my oldest son. Back then he was 16, and we were having a terrible life. He was saying to me, why did you stay with him? And I'm like, he's their dad, because it wasn't the same dad. He's their dad, and I don't want to give up like the way I gave up on your dad. He's like, but Mum, you're not happy, we're not happy. And he started, you know, getting really upset, because he was thinking, why am I in this situation? Because you made a decision, me, Mum. And there was nothing I could do. He was right. So we became estranged. He found a girlfriend. And then what he did was, I said, I'd made a decision I was coming home. And I said, you're coming home with me. And he said, no, I'm not. And I said, you are. And he said, no, I'm not. So what he did then was he went and placed himself in German social services.
Your son did that?
He did that. And I can't tell you, Valerie, honestly, we sat in this room. I had a really good friend called Ava, and she was German. And Casey sat there and Ava sat there. And these 2 people are looking at me with this hate and disgust in their eyes. And they're all talking German. I can't understand the word they say. And I'm looking at Casey thinking, what has he told them? My friend Ava said to me, Anne-Marie, do you understand what they're saying? I said, I don't understand. She goes, you need to come outside. So we came outside. And bearing in mind, I'd been in care. So you know, I didn't know what this was. I didn't know that they were social workers at the time. I went outside and she said, they're social workers. They're going to take your son into care. And I said, why? I haven't done anything. And she said, he's requested it. And I said, why? And she said, he's told them that you beat him, that you don't look after him, that you've told him all these terrible things. Oh, Valerie, I can't tell you. I burst into tears. It was the most awful moment. I honestly, it felt so bad. And then my son came out and walked into the room. And I just looked at him and I said, why? Why have you done that? And he said, well, I had to tell them. Otherwise, if I hadn't have told them that, they wouldn't have taken me into care. I don't want to come home. And I was like, but you could have done that a better way.
Of how you feel.
And that's what I said. I said, Casey, you know my story of being in care. Can you imagine how this feels for me to see this side? Can you imagine? He said, I know, Mum, I haven't done it to hurt you. I've done it to look after me. You know, what can you say at that point? And I was like, I didn't have any energy.
How old was he?
He was 16. He was 16. The children were still 3 and 4. No, they were 2 and 3, the little ones, the big ones. So I was like, oh, Casey, I just wish that you'd have spoken to me about it and at least tell me so I could prepare. He said, but Mum, if I'd have prepared you, you would have talked him out of it and you would have talked me out of it, which is absolutely right. So, yeah, and that's at that point, we'd already decided we were going home because out there it's so, you know, when if one person moves out, if you're on council property, their council property, they give you a property for the size of the family that you have. If one person moves out, you have 2 weeks to move to a smaller property. It's as quick as that. Yeah. And if you don't find a place, they find you a place. and you won't like what they find you. Same as their jobs out there. They will give you a certain time to be on the dole. But if you don't go and get a job, they get you a job. It's very harsh. It's a beautiful country if you've got money.
But they're hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I came back. So I've been speaking to social services in Brentwood, telling them, look, this is my situation. I'm coming back to England. I've got no money. I've got nowhere to live. Can I come back to Brentwood Social Services? They said, well, who do you know? And I said, oh, my ex-husband's mum, right? She said she would support me. So literally, we got on the plane at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we were flying and going through this and doing all that. And we got back, and I turned up at social services in Brentwood Town Hall at like maybe 5:10. And the lady said, the lady who I'd been speaking to, I said, is she here? She said, yeah. She went, but you're too late. It's like 5:10. I said, I've been traveling all day with my children and the luggage. This is the best that we could do. And she said, well, it's 5:10, you know, you're going to have to come back tomorrow. And I was like, I don't think you understand the situation. I said, okay, fine. Can I borrow your car keys a minute? She went, what for? I said, because that's where I'm going to be sleeping. I think you think this is a joke. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, I think you think this is a joke. Like, do you think I'm seriously going to carry around 3 bags that size and 2 kids as a stunt to impress you? I don't think so. She was like, oh, you know, God, overtime. You know, and so they literally at that point, they put me in a taxi and sent me to the thatched house in Epping, which is a homeless hostel, to stay there until obviously I could go back and they could sort out temporary housing and all of that. Yeah, I can't believe that. That was only 11
all
years
of
ago.
this, Anne-Marie, with 3 children. You've already been in a home, so still no stability. Even though your children are there, you're thinking that, oh my God, you know that, and you're still empty. No home, no, everything is still empty.
Yeah.
And here you are. You said to yourself, okay, when did you start reading and listening to Les Brown that made you say, I have to change my life?
Yeah. Well, you know, I did a BA and I was working with children. So all of the time, when I came back, I started trying to work out, why is this happening to me? And how can I move myself forward? So I worked as a nursery manager for about 4 or 5 years. You know, big nurseries, 98 place nurseries, and just studied the children. And I did a BA honours in childcare and education, childcare and child psychology, because I wanted to understand what happened to me so that I could help them and I could help myself, basically. And I got it, and I understood, and what I really understood was, it's not my fault. That's what I got. It wasn't my fault. And so now I'm in nursery management. I'm thinking, oh, you know what? Like most jobs, the job description is never the job, never. And I thought, this is not me. I don't want to be here. And I started to understand manifesting, and I said, I just don't want to be here. Next minute, they said, your contract is finished. You're gone. So ladies, gentlemen, whoever's listening, always be careful what you wish for, because you will get it, but not necessarily in the way that you would like to get it. Maybe not as planned as you might like it.
Yeah.
So there I was, no job.
Yeah.
And it was Christmas like 4 years ago. And I thought, this is it. I'm going to start my life again, and I'm going to do what I want to do. I want to be a life coach. That's what I started, being a life coach. And the kids were like, oh, Mum, I used to earn a lot of money as a nursing manager. Don't you think you better go and get that other job? You know, you had lots of money when you had that other job. And I was like, yeah, I know. But if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. I'm going to be resigned to the fate of being imprisoned by my mind and being imprisoned by a sad heart. That's going to be it for me. So I just committed to myself at that point, almost like I decided to marry myself. And said, come on, Anne-Marie, I'm going to...
Which reminds me, I'm going to show you something, and I'm hoping it will play. This is something you said.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to play this. I hope it comes.
She was caring. She knew everything about me. Her only interest was for me. She spent time discovering me and building me up, and that person was me. And I didn't meet her, me, the inner me that loves me truly, until I was possibly 49. That tells you how old I am.
So people were treating you bad growing up. You're having different kind of treatment from different homes and from...
You know what I've learned about people? I can look back and say there are a lot of cruel people in my life, and they did a lot of cruel and abusive things to me. But all that learning, I'm a child psychologist as well, and I've been an early years teacher for many years, before I was a clinical hypnotherapist. And my only mission was to understand how people thought. Why do people do what they do? And what I realised was, hurt people hurt people. Yeah. And happy people make people
happy. That's correct, yeah, because it's what you have inside you give outside. So if you have love inside, you give out love. I totally agree with that.
And so when I learned that people were coming to me with their history, with their hurt, I learned to be able to step back. Wow. Wow.
Remember that?
Yeah. That was, I remember that. And yeah.
See?
I've come so
That's
far.
how I reacted when I watched that. Because you...
Wow.
The man, please don't cry. Sorry, you're gonna make me tear up, because that's how I felt when I watched it. That you'd lived all that life. Do you know what I mean? Of that you know, revisiting abuse, revisiting that you've been everywhere, and you're studying and you're taking on so many other people's energy. Where was yours? Where was yours? And that's one of the questions I think I wrote down myself. You dealing with all this, everybody's empathy. Where is yours, and how do you deal with it? Where do you store it?
Oh, do you know what? Then this has been, and I think this is, I don't think.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry.
You know what? I just have a lot of respect for that lady back then. I just think, wow, how far I've come. Honestly, I honestly, if I was to look at my life, I think that's not possible for one person to constantly come back from, you know, situation after situation. You know, is she on drugs? What is she's got? And, you know, often people do say it to me, oh, God, I'll have some of what she's on. You know how people do.
Right.
What she's on.
They're not even on anything. It's just
exactly.
Buzz, right?
Exactly. But I think for me,
the
healing journey has been, really, the healing journey has been my spirituality, and understanding how, and this is the work that I do with my clients, and it's so powerful. It's about learning how to receive love. It's understanding what love is. It's being able to be unconditional about love. It's about being able to let go of the past. It's about being able to forgive yourself. The things that weren't even your fault, but that you've been beating yourself up for time and time again because you didn't know where else to put it. So you held on to it. And it really is about letting go of all of that and just accepting that where I am today and who I am today is as a result of all of that. So paying homage to what happened, and because it allows me to be a more empathetic, giving, loving person to my clients. And I do love them. And I don't know, people might say I'm weird. People might say, oh, that's not really a client, you know, a client person relationship. And I don't need a book to tell me how to care and love people. I do what I do, and it changes people's lives. And that's enough for me. I don't need to know anything else. Obviously, I have got my DHR standards and stuff like that. But, you know, I want people to be able to open their hearts. And you sometimes can't do it. When someone comes to you with a facade, you keep your facade up. When someone's wearing a mask, you continue wearing your mask. When someone opens their heart, it allows them to open their heart. Yeah.
That is so beautiful. You know, I'm going to ask you a question again. In the dark days, so there's a few other little things. So now you've studied, you've become a life coach, beautifully. You've got your clients.
Yeah.
When did the hypnotherapy part come into it?
Well, I have done a lot of soul searching. I mean, do you remember back in the day, Celestine Prophecies?
And days.
Yeah.
I read that book twice over.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so we've all been on this journey, haven't we? But we didn't know what the journey was. And all of a sudden, I've got Paulo Coelho up there. I've got The Alchemist. I've got the whole set of books. So there was always my higher self saying, come home to love, come home to love. I didn't know how. So when you start reading those books and you start connecting and thinking, there's more to life than what's here, but I don't know what it is. I truly believe that it became a calling, and I was trying all these different modalities to heal my heart, but none of them was quite getting really deep. None of them was definitely not filling me up. And I thought I need to be able to do something where I'm not conscious, because of where I've been hurt so much and rejected, I'm not going to be able to give myself fully to the process. Counseling. Psh. So I did the life coaching course. I loved life coaching. I thought it was amazing that I could ask someone a question and I could see their eyes go, bing. Oh,
really?
That's exactly what happened. That's why I'm like that. I go, yeah. And it's like opening the key to give them their freedom, because they can walk away from what's been imprisoning them in their mind. And I saw life coaching was really brilliant. And I did life coaching for quite a while. And I thought, no, I want more. And it just so happened I saw an advert for hypnotherapy and NLP. And it was over in Scotland, Aviemore, a guy called Matthew Ferguson. Big up, Matthew. And it was a residential. There was like 9 of us. I think I'm the only one still practicing, actually. And we stayed there for like 4 long weekends, Thursday to Sunday. Yeah. And we practiced on each other. We came home and we practiced. And I was like, wow, this, like doing hypnotherapy on my son, who was really struggling with low self-confidence and all of the other things that come along with being a mixed race boy in Essex.
I was going to come back to that. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And I did hypnotherapy on him and changed his life. And I'm still trying to get him back in there, because I say, I need to turn it down. I'm giving you too much. Let's go back in and turn some of that down. No, he won't go back in there. Even if I start talking like this, he's out of the room. And I just realized, wow, you can really change people's lives with hypnotherapy. Like, they become a different person. It's not a different person that's acting a different way. It's their whole physiology, psychology, mentality, spirituality changes. They become a different person.
Do you find that the word hypnotherapist, like, because you know it's taboo?
Is it?
Like the word, like the word hypnotherapist. And I'm going to speak from my standpoint.
Okay.
So if someone said, I'm going to go on hypnotherapy, you'll find that some people go, don't believe in that. That's rubbish. That's that's what I mean. Like, have you ever come across that? Because I was one of them. I was one of them. And so, and I don't need to talk about why I think that way, but I know that in the beginning I was one of them.
Yeah.
As soon as I see a hypnotherapist, I'm like, I'm not into no mumbo jumbo. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But when I met you and I realized that it wasn't hypnotherapist.
So one's hypnosis, which is the street stuff. Which is the street stuff. And I do believe, I mean, it's unfortunate because it gives hypnotherapists a bad name.
That's the point.
Because, like quite a few times when I've had men come to see me, they'll go, I'm not going to walk around like a duck afterwards, am I? I'm not going to go quack, quack. And I read stories of where someone has said, I went to see a hypnotherapist and I'm really nervous about coming to see another one because even now I jump every time I see a red bus. And I'm just like, that is so cruel. Why someone would do, I mean, that's just really unethical.
Very much so. So now you see what I was trying to say, where people who hear the word hypno forget about the therapy, or it's just the hypno. It's just a taboo. It's like, again, it comes across as hypnotherapy because all of a sudden you blank it out. So, that's why I'm asking, did you ever come across that? I want you to tell the public how yours work, why you're here, and how you have been changing people's lives.
Oh, wow. Well, Debbie's on here. Debbie is one of my clients, and
hello, Debbie.
Oh gosh, I just see people when they come, and I tell you how it usually happens. Someone will come to see me and they'll say, my life would be perfect if he stopped doing that and she didn't do that and she didn't speak to, because it's not me. It's, I try to talk to them nicely, but they just won't listen. And I just need him to listen so I can have and everything. And I go, okay, stop. I say, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you the sad news. I cannot change anybody else's life but yours, because you're the one sitting in the seat. And maybe for 2 or 3 sessions, they'll come with stories of other people and how other people are making their lives difficult. The key moment is always, and I know when they've turned a corner, when they come and they go, I need to look at this and how I feel about this. They change it from the external world around them making their life miserable to actually claiming and taking accountability for it themselves and saying, how can I do this better? And only when they reach that point, the hypnotherapy works anyway, but when you do that, because I do it with life coaching as well, when we get to that point, that's when you see accelerated progress. That's when you see them being able to do things that they thought they could never do, because they realize that it's within their power. And it is when they step into their own power that everything changes. And that's when they become new people. And you can't unlearn what you learn in hypnotherapy. You won't ever go back to being that person again. You just become, and also because I'm speaking to your subconscious mind. So this is a part of your brain that is where all the habits are formed, which is why it's so hard to break a habit, because it's your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind, which is the mind that we're talking with now, that is awake, is really creative and great, but it can't stick to anything. It needs to give that information to the subconscious mind to become a new habit, a new program. Because we're all in a program, right? More and more so. Lots of people are talking about the matrix now, but forget the matrix. We've been in a program forever. You know, when you get up out of bed in the morning, I can guarantee you pretty much swing your legs out of bed the same way every day.
Every day.
Every day. And maybe you've got a routine. If you get up and you go to the toilet first of all, and then maybe you might put the kettle on, and then maybe you'll put your slippers on. There's a certain little routine to what you do. There may be variances, you know, but for the most part, you're quite predictable, because you're running a program. And if you imagine how many programs you run in a day, it's kind of hard to change them, because they are so deeply embedded to who you are. They become who you are, but they're not who you are. They are just programs that you put in place to be functional, and you can change them at any point, but you have to want to.
I was going to say, you're going to have to want to.
Yeah. Like I had a young man come to me just recently, a lovely young man, and he was like, he and this happens a lot. Mums, dads, girlfriends, boyfriends will ring me up and say, I need you to speak to so-and-so. And now I say, you need to get so-and-so to call me, because this was a so-and-so. Mum rang, said, going all down the hill, he's going drinking, all these things that were going on, keeps passing out because he's drinking so much, blah, blah, blah. And I think he just said yes to get them off of his back, as you would, because he's living in their house. Came to see me a couple of times, did some work. But in the meantime, I'm getting mum ringing me during the week saying, but he's out again. And I had to say to her, you know what? I'm going to be really honest with you. I think that what you need to do is let your son finish doing his treatment, and then you need to come and see me, because he's not going to change until you change. That's the truth. Yeah. And some people believe that if they change somebody else, it's going to work for them, but it's never going to work for them. She needs to stand up and say, that's not acceptable. You're 28 years of age and I'm not coming to pick you up at 7 o'clock at night because you're too drunk. I don't even know how that works anyway, but do you know what?
I don't mean to laugh, sorry.
Yeah, but
you know I want to comment, but I can't.
Yeah. So when he came back for his last session, and sometimes I do have to be a little bit harsh. Most psychologists, counselors are very soft and care, but I have to be real and say, do you think that you've been committing to yourself over this last week? Yeah, I have. Is that the truth? Yeah, I have. You see, the point is, you can give me as much money as you like. In fact, I'd love to sign you up for another 5, 10, 15 sessions, because you're easy money. The reason why you're easy money is because you won't actually accept that this can only change when you're prepared to change. So you can keep giving me your money if you like, or you can actually go away and think, do you really want this? And I'll know within a couple of weeks of whether you want it or not, because you'll be back to see me. And if not, you're going to spend another 10 years flailing around, blaming everybody else for your problems. And then you're going to probably go and see another hypnotherapist. That's your life story. And it's hard and it's harsh. And I do say it with love sometimes, but all the time. But I have to say it because I don't want to waste people's time, and I don't want them to waste their own time.
Yeah, you're absolutely being real. Oh my God. There's another question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to play you something again. And everybody's watching, but these are little excerpts that to get to know this woman. This is another thing that I don't want to. My mate Brandon. So I'm going to play this. Look at this.
Person we connect with, we're sharing information that we hope in some way is going to uplift their life and enable them to have a better life.
Absolutely.
So when I say life coaching, all I mean is teaching, but from a developmental point of view. Instead of this is this. Here's this guy. How do you think he got to start children thinking critically and analysing situations and wondering, if I were in that situation, what would I do? Yeah. Rather than just because I know I'm an adult, right? I don't like it when people talk at me for 20 minutes and expect me to get what they're saying. If they're asking questions, two-way communication, you're engaged, you're enjoying it, you're co-creating, right? Yeah. If that's good enough for us, why isn't that good enough for our children? Absolutely. What makes it any different?
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Totally right. So it's just, you know what, it'd be lovely. I think you're the person to write the program.
That's a bit angry, isn't it? Militant.
This woman does not mess about. Do you understand? So this is going to bring me to where you deal with the children. So you deal with adults and you deal with children. Do life coaching, and listen. Apart from this, folks, she is also. Am I going to get the words right? You are on the committee of people with dementia and is it Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's. I was a community volunteer, going to speak and pick up checks and things like that. But I have to be really honest with you. I've stepped back from that role, and there is a reason for that. I think as you evolve and you understand the world, the wider world, the universe more, you understand that different things can not just be healed with medication, but they can be healed mentally with your mind as well. And I do this work where, you can really see progression and healing when people use their minds as a tool for healing. And I know that there is more that can be done for people with dementia and Alzheimer's I don't feel is being done. Same as with children. I think that we have to start exploring different ways of healing people. I honestly, truly believe, I mean, the big event I should have done last year, but because of the COVID, the BU 2020, it really was my way of acknowledging, healers, therapists, crystal healers, all of these different types of therapists. We are the fourth emergency service. We are the ones that will know your name, that know exactly where your energies is stuck. The NHS is a big body that was set up how many years ago? And it was set up for physical reasons. It wasn't a mind therapy. It was a body therapy. And we haven't moved on from when that was the welfare state, was it 1884 or something like that? We need to move on and look at different ways of healing people and empowering people to heal themselves. And that's where my kind of, I thought I couldn't be true to myself representing them when I felt that there's more that they could be looking at to support people with dementia. Sorry.
Oh my God. I'm going to show some captions here. So you have gone as far as writing a book.
Yay!
Anne's book was Amazon's #1 selling author in 2019.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows that. Why did you write this book? What was the inspiration behind it?
So as I was going on my journey, the journey to becoming me, I kept seeing these different things that I do that always put me back into alignment. So, as you're going along, you're feeling really happy, something happens, you fall out of alignment, you feel miserable, and then you're down. But I didn't want to keep getting down. I just wanted to be able to work out, how do I get myself back to my happy place? That's what I thought. And I recognized there were certain things that I did that always got me back to my happy place. And so I thought, I'm going to share those simple principles for being your happy, true self. And if you ever got a chance to read the book, you would go, oh, yeah, I do that. An example, what I saw a lot of people, and I did it myself for many years. You get a new dress. You don't even need it for any reason. You just buy a new dress because you saw it and you love it. And it stays in the wardrobe. You go, I love that dress. Oh, God, I can't wait for somewhere to wear it. Right? And sometimes that time never comes up. And by the time you get it on, it's too small for you. Right? So I decided, no, I'm going to wear my best clothes every day. And I do. And I wear, sometimes people say to me, and in fact, mostly it's my friends. This is what they say. They go, what are you wearing? He says, how they say it, what are you wearing? And I go, I don't know. And they go, are you not going to wear something really fancy again, are you? Because that means I can't wear my jeans. And I go, listen, wear what you want, because I don't care what you're wearing. So you don't need to care what I'm wearing.
You become a standalone. You stand in your own truth.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. And not worry about anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. Why would what I wear impact on how you think or feel about yourself? I really don't care. And I wear tiaras when I want to. I love wearing. In fact, how have I not got one of my feather boas on this evening?
I know. Valerie, or the fascinator.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. I remember you wearing a fascinator when I first met you, and I thought, oh my God, we're not even going to see the GGs. But I love the fact that I met you and you had a fascinator on at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening and walking around in a bar with this glass of drink. And I was like, holy magoli, what the hell? But I love this woman. And again, so you've written this book.
Says she with the bright blonde hair and the leather pants and the bright yellow top.
Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I tell you what. I went through a phase of, I've always worn purple. I've always had purple. My house is purple. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Not in this room. But and for the first time, I changed the decor. I listened to some of the things that you said, and I thought, do you know what? I'm actually going to try colors like red, which I hate. So I went with colors I don't like the blondes and everything else. So I'm only giving a synopsis, and then I'm going to go right back because my story is boring, right? Anne-Marie has got the shenazzle nazzle, and I started to try what you said, what you just said, and I love it. It gave me a new impetus. It gave me, like when I tried a different hair color, it was like, oh, I'm a new me. And it's like I tried and I thought, but I still went back to purple.
Yeah, but that's okay. I go back to green. I always go back to green. I think there's colors that you resonate with that really allow you to stand in your truth, and for me, that's green, blue and red. Those are my stand in my truth colors.
So I just said, I used to think that Val's eyes was purple because she wore so much.
I bet you look gorgeous with purple eyes. They do those contact lenses. They do those contact lenses. You should try it.
Me? Listen, mate. Listen. Let me just say this right. I would do it. No, that I stop at wearing purple, and do you know what? It's not every color of purple. It has to be a particular shade of purple. I don't get me wrong, folks. There's wearing purple and looking like shite, and there's wearing purple and looking classy. So when I wear something, to me, it needs to be classy enough, and do you know what I mean? Bougie.
Empress color. Empress.
Yeah, and it needs to be bougie. Do you know what I mean? Without me saying, "Oh, I'm not the big I am." It's just that color calms me down. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny. I don't know. I'm saying this to you, and maybe you might be able to help me. But there's people can wear a color, and I don't know if anybody else can agree with me. There's colors that will calm you down.
Yeah,
and I found that's what purple did.
Yeah,
I'm a hyper person.
Yeah,
but I found that when I wore purple, I found myself being quite serene. When I wore blonde hair, it was like I'm like, way, and I'm Garrett. And I honestly tell you, that's what colors did to me. So I go with what, but at the same time, when I want to feel like I'm not shut down in my head and I don't want to feel depressed, that's when I try different colors.
Yeah.
But I will go back to the purple. But going back to you, sorry folks, we digressed there, but we just went on to one there. But going back to my lovely Anne-Marie, I see that you know my bloody Brandon Block because I've known Brandon for a long time in the music industry. But I'm going to come to you. You wrote your book, and someone asked you about flow. What do you call flow? What is flow?
Flow for me is just totally just being in alignment with everything. So when I'm in total flow, I will turn up to meet somebody I've never met before, and I'm wearing exactly the same color as them, right? Really tuning into everything around me that's connected with me. That young man yesterday, you saw the interview. It was our last session together. I sit down and I think about him as a person and what I would like for him to go on with, and really sharing that story. And we both turned up in red. We could have worn any color.
Oh, right, you're both wearing red.
There's a lady on here, Debbie Ashmole. She's the same. She came and we did an interview, and I thought, you know what? I want to channel myself. I want to be in that moment. I wore red. I don't often wear red. I wore red. She turned up at the door. She had a red jumper on as well. It happened that video that you just showed there when I was in the studio. I wore blue that day, and I can tell you there was about 5 other people who were being interviewed as well, and they all had blue on. It's flow is when you just allow yourself to be absolutely connected with it. Just let go of everything. It's flow is the moment when you maybe have a piece of toast and it drops on the floor and it drops butter side up. You go, oh, just in my flow. You're having conversations and you're co-creating with people, and you can feel the energy building. You can feel it filling the room. You can see the eyes going, and like there's no drugs and there's no music. There's just that connection of you with other people, and time just goes, and you look, and it happens all the time in hypnotherapy. I said to people, guess what time it is? And they go, oh, I don't know. They go, oh, you're in flow. When you're in that moment, when time is not time, but it's just that feeling of being at one with everything and connected to everything. it's just perfection. Just perfect moments in time that I've learned to extend and expand so that I'm in that flow state a lot of the time, and I can now deflect when things happen that I can see could potentially take me out of alignment. I will just step away from them or sidestep them or just say, I'm not looking at that right now. You know, I've trained my brain to do this, and it's not an easy thing to do because it involves catching your thoughts and turning them around. You know, why did I think that? What's the lesson that I can learn here? And it's all about just being in that positive vibe and not allowing those negative thoughts to come in. It's not easy, and it has taken a while to do, but I just don't see any drama anymore. I don't have drama, not with people, not with situations, not with, you know, I'm not scared to open the door. I'm not scared. Nothing. I don't have any, and I always say this a lot, I don't have any waste in my life anymore. I don't have any waste. Everything and everybody is here for a reason. And I know that, and I appreciate that. Yeah, that's flow. That's flow for me.
And that's what, and that to you, that's what, well, not to you.
Yeah.
It's flow.
Yeah.
It's the way you make it sound. I'm enthralled. I'm listening to you. And that's the difference. If people are prepared to listen to what someone is saying, and as you say, the alignment, it's are you ready to free yourself? This is not, you know, to anyone out there that's going to watch this, they're watching now or in the future. We're not talking about hocus pocus.
No.
This is stuff that's been going on for years. Just that some people simplify it, and you know, and you understand them. There's a lot of people out there doing what you do, but you'll find that I will connect with you, whereas I wouldn't connect with someone else.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you could. It's an energy thing.
Absolutely. But I think right now, what is really difficult is there's, you know, just think back 10 years ago when we used to talk about vegetarianism and energy and, you know, neurodiversity. People are like, oh, that's weird stuff. That's hocus pocus, right? Now it's becoming so much more acceptable. But what happens?
God.
What's that?
Oh my God. It's like, it's the biggest thing.
Look, the law of attraction. Everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with that is there's one slight problem I'm finding, and that's there's so many different views of flow, the law of attraction, that people get confused and then they get scared that they're not doing it right. And I did a big live on this yesterday, and I was saying, you know what? Any of you ladies that are listening, if at any point that you feel, oh my son last night, full moon 3 nights ago, oh my gosh, I didn't wrap it up and I didn't do that, worried. And I say, no, listen, if there's one thing that you need to do right now in the midst of everything that's going on, and you want to be doing the right thing so that you can ascend, or whatever you feel you can move into this new normal in a positive frame of mind, if there's one thing you need to do, and it's so simple, lead with love. Put love at the center of every single decision you make, and you'll be fine. And it's so simple. That's as simple as it gets. Lead with love. Honestly. Oh my God.
Folks, we could sit here and speak all day. She's written a book. I really, if you are searching, I mean, I've got to put these pictures up before we go. This is all the things that, you know, she does. She's on the radio. I don't know if anyone can see, I've got the mouse over here, right in the far right, to my right, probably to you guys left. There, what's his name? The guy from Channel 4. Is it the
Anthony Middleton, yeah.
Anthony Middleton, Jesus.
Yeah.
So you've been with Anthony Middleton. You've worked.
I can't believe you didn't get Robert De Niro up there.
Hold on, De Niro, listen.
Oh, there he is. Listen, let me just look at these pictures, ladies. I just want to tell you quickly. You can see on the left when I'm with Peter Andre, okay? So we got there at 6:30, and Peter Andre came on to speak at 7:30. So I'm looking fresh, looking lively. Peter Andre had a little giggle with me. Oh, I love your hair, he said. I was like, well, stop it, Peter. Okay, going over to the right-hand side, me and Mr. De Niro. You can see me looking a little bit more wavy, right? Yeah. We got there at 6:30. Dinner with Robert De Niro, free wine, free everything, and yeah, I did take a bit of advantage. But by the time it got to 9:30, from 6:30 to 9:30, when I actually got to meet Robert De Niro, I was feeling well frisky and a little bit drunk. I was like, "You all right, Bob?" And he was like, "Bob." You can't be Bob.
You have met a lot of people in your line of work. Yeah. So, you know, from you work, because you're based in Essex, and so you have from the children's Was it a cab? I think you've got down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the Essex Children and Young People Services. You do the dementia. You do a very copious amount of talking about flow. I'm also going to mention this as well. Hold on a second. Anne-Marie runs it's the first open mic platform called Inspired Stage.
Yes.
Now, it's similar to TED. Anyone who knows about TEDx and, you know, the style of talking, it's that, you know, it's a big platform, but Anne-Marie has taken it upon herself to open up her own Inspired Stage. And that's how we first met a year ago.
Yeah.
Tell people why you did it, you know, in a nutshell, you know, why did you do Inspire?
Right. It was awesome, wasn't it? I loved doing Inspired Stage. So I was in Brighton, and there was they have an Inspired Stage in Brighton as well. And they asked me to come and speak, and I went to speak on the stage, and I just thought it was so exciting and so much fun. So I did a little bit of research, and I found now, big up to Shay Ali. Shay Ali is an amazing woman. She really is an awesome woman, and she set up the Inspired Stage. But there was different, so she set them up in different countries around the world. So there's an Inspired Amsterdam, there's an Inspired New York, there's an Inspired Miami, there's Inspired Stages all over the world. She set it up, and she asked me to come and speak on her stage in London, and I was like, yeah, okay. And I came, and that was so much fun. And I said, you know what, I really think I might like to do this in Essex. And she said, yeah, I'd love to. And she was there that night. Yeah. And it was fantastic. You know what? Bringing to Essex, right? So there wasn't anything really like it, especially in Brentwood, because all we'd had is Towie, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And it was all a bit throwaway and lust, lips and boobs and and I just wanted to bring a little bit of reality, real reality to the stage. And we had some fantastic speakers that night. Do you remember MEP was there as well?
She was there. Oh, she was awesome.
Gosh, she was awesome. And it was just such a vibrant night. I can't wait for things to open up again. I'd really like to go back to doing the Inspired Stage. It was so vibrant.
This will go out. I will make sure that, you know, we've got a website. So I'll get information, because I'd like to think that people in the chat, you know, the chat room that is tuned in today, and those that will watch down the line will see that you are running these sessions and Inspired Stage where they can come and tell their story.
Oh yeah. I you know, as much as I like to tell my story purely for inspirational purposes, because if I can do it, anyone can do it. So don't even try and get out of it. And I always love Lisa. No, because I love Lisa Nichols when she says, when people go, oh God, you're so amazing. You know, and when people say that to me, you're so brilliant, you just do something. I go, no. I'm not taking that. You're only saying that to me because it lets you off the hook.
Off the hook.
Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got an amazing story. You just need to be able to deliver it in a way, because everybody has, you know, and I love to hear other people's stories. I'm always blown away when some people get up on stage and you have a idea of what you think you know what they're going to say, and then they stand up and you're like, wow, you know, gosh, you just
what I found that night.
Yeah,
you came on and you did your, you know, you opened the show and said blah blah blah, and then you had all these various different people from walks of life that spoke about themselves, and I just sat there feeling, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I would never tell anyone what's going, because that's when I first started to open up.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a closed book. Sorry, I'm a closed book, right? No. Everything, it's a Scorpio me. I keep everything close to my chest. I'm happy to advise you. I'm happy to listen, but when I came to Inspired Stage, I found that I was meant to sing, and I ended up going, bleh.
Yeah.
And I remember walking away, and the person that I turned up with, we won't say anything on that. So the person I turned up with, right, looked at me, and he looked at me and he went, wow. And I looked at him and I went, oh my God, wow. I said, I don't normally speak about myself.
Yeah.
I just remember that that was my first year in sobriety.
Yes.
And do you know?
Yeah, I remember you standing up on stage, and I remember you speaking.
And I remember
just like, Everyone loved you that night, Valerie. Everyone loved you. Everyone was just like, wow. You know, we thought we thought we were big time that night when you came down. Honestly, we did. Everything was just absolutely perfect. You know, we had to open the doors. Do you remember how hot it was when it got packed?
It was really hot. But I'm just saying this. I wanted people to understand how your energy enthuses. You don't ask anything of anyone, because how you are so bubbly. And so what happened was that if there was a few little things that was going even technically wrong, but you still had that smile and you still made it happen, and everybody was still happy. And I know singers who would have said, sorry, can't work with what you've got, bye, I'm going. But I didn't. I stayed because the stories I was hearing. And so I found that I'd gone up and I opened up. And that was the first time when I opened up, then it allowed me to go onto social media and address my drinking. It's allowed me, please, when you have time, someone wants you to connect with them. No,
isn't that lovely? Isn't that, don't let me have to become your stalker.
It's fine. I want people that's in here to understand. I'm a closed book. I don't share. I don't share. It's just anyone who knows me, they just think I don't like her. I don't get her, because I don't say anything. I'd rather you talk. I'm happy to listen. Do you know what I mean? I have views, but you allowed me to open up and say what was burning me. When I got out of the bed, I wasn't getting out of bed. I'm not singing. I'm not doing anything. But you allowed me to not feel so bad about myself anymore. Not thinking that I'm living a particular lifestyle, and allowed me to live. Do you know what I'm saying? And so what I'm trying to say to everybody else out there, it's, if you've got pride, drop the pride. Do you understand? Because once I let go, it's allowed me to have this platform.
Absolutely.
A year on, look at that. A year on, I've allowed to lose all my friends on social media. I don't have any. I really don't. If I put a post up on my social media, nobody bats an eyelid. But I decided that I'm now happy to speak, and I want everyone else to speak, and I wanted everyone to meet you, because if there's anybody out there who is scared of what's going on in their lives, it's never too late to turn it around. Never. And this is who Anne-Marie is. There's a lot more. I mean, it's 9 o'clock, and I'm sure everybody's like, you know, but I've given Anne-Marie, before you actually shoot off, look, Anne-Marie does empowerment programs, from anxiety release with a positive mind, the relationship you want, healing and physical pain management, ultimate life. There is a massive program that she has. And I'm going to, as I said, this will all go up on the website, but she has her own website. Let me take that off, because I want people to see. I'm going to give them your website, because people need to know you.
Oh, bless you.
Know you, my lovely. And I'm hoping that today we'll come back to this, because it's 9 o'clock. We're going to come back. I want to have you back in the new year.
Oh, I'd love to. I really would love to.
Coming out of COVID now. And, you know, there's a lot of anxiety.
I'm coming to your house.
Yeah, you are coming to my house. Right? The next time we do it, it will be in my room that I've designated as a podcast room. But for children reasons, we just had to do it this way.
Yeah.
Anyone who's out there in the chat room, and I said, pass this message on. Anne-Marie's here. She runs various sessions. Go onto her webpage, annemariewickham.com. Everything's on there.
It's an old one. Please forgive me, because I'm in the process of creating a new one.
Still good.
But you know, if you can find me on Facebook. I've got lots of, in the new year, I've got a whole new personal development platform coming out, which I'm so excited about. I finished the first online course today as well. So there's so many ways you can work with me, but I just love working with people, connecting one-to-one. And even group work. It's heart to heart, isn't it? And that's how we change the world. Heart to heart, one at a time.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. So, you know, before she goes, last question I'm going to ask you, what is next for you, which you just said a while ago, which, you know, you've done a new online course, and what's next? What for 2021? And what's the last sage of advice you'd give anyone going into, Christmas 2021 because of COVID? Share.
I think the big thing that I've got coming for 2021, and I never ever thought I could do this, having ADHD, being told you're inconsistent, unreliable, blah, all those things, all those labels that people want to put on you. I've been in 2021, I'm launching a platform called The Orchard, and The Orchard is a personal development platform. And because it has trees of creativity, productivity, musicality, all these different trees where you can learn how to be in these particular areas. But my special niche is personality. It's about, values and beliefs and letting go and healing your inner child and all that sort of stuff. And you can do it online. And that's why I've created it, because I can't work with as many people as what I'd like to. The program what Debbie was just talking about is Be the Real You, and that's my signature program. It's 8 sessions, and it is life changing. There's no other word for it. I've got so many testimonials from people that have, sometimes they go on and they do them here. One of the ladies that I just worked with, right, her name's Caroline Stead. She won't mind me saying this. She was a pharmacy specialist, and she sent me a text 2 days ago, and she said, after the work that I did with you, you told me to aim higher. I applied for some jobs which were way out of my league. Guess what? I've just got one. I'm now training to be a GP.
Whoa!
And I'm like, wow. And she's got a new boyfriend as well, which is one of the other things. So I say to people, set your intentions before you come to work with me. You will get everything that you want. So make sure you set what you really want. And that was what she wanted. She wanted a new partner. She got a new partner, and she's now training to be a flipping GP. Sometimes I look and I go, wow, your dreams was really big. I love it. I just love it. And it inspires me to dream even bigger, because I go, wow, if I can do that for you, then I can definitely do that for myself. You know what I mean?
One thing I must say to everybody out there, Anne-Marie is trained. You've been trained all along. But it's when you actually got to 49. Let me get this right. Let me say this. It's when you got to 49. And I hope you don't mind telling anyone how old you are, because you don't look it. How old are you now?
Kids, how old am I now? I forget all the time. I'm around 67. I think I'm 53 now.
Okay, so Anne-Marie's 53. It took her to be 49. She can't remember, right? It took her to get to 49 after training, child development. Okay, one more after this, right? You discovered yourself, and now you are one of the biggest motivational speakers out.
Yeah.
#1 bestseller.
Yeah.
You understand? You deal with ADHD.
Yeah.
You teach kids. You talk about mind over matter, everything. You go around the world.
Yeah.
And you're on my show. You're on my show. I feel so truly blessed. So truly blessed. Trust me. Do you understand?
It's
to know that,
Valerie. It's
you pulled it out, and here I am. And I have to give up to Rachel, Dr. Rachel Gow, because she introduced you to me.
Yeah.
And because of you, I got to meet Francesca and also Rihanna, Tamara Eback. So the connection is lovely.
Yeah.
The connection is beautiful. But 49, and you are kicking ass at 43. I'm just trying to say that so people can know that it's never too
late. No. And I mean, when at 40, I mean, I'm talking about breaking through, because most people always have something that they just can't let go of, that they just can't break through, right? And usually it's one of two things. It's either money or love, right? Everything else people kind of, or health, money, love, or health, or family. And I'm not boasting when I say to you that I have cleared all of them, eliminated all of them. I have let go of everything so that I'm able to receive everything. And receiving isn't just about money. It's about receiving yourself. It's about accepting yourself with true honesty and acceptance, and embracing everything that you are, everything. And when you can do that and you let go of the external world's expectations of you, but you start living up to your own expectations, that's when it all changed for me. Like, I'm impenetrable. I am absolutely impenetrable. You can't get in because there's 10 of me around me. And that's one of the sessions that I do. It's about creating those 10 people around you and imagining that every one of those 10 10 Anne-Maries around me, if someone says something to you, what would one of those 10 Anne-Maries, you can't talk to her like that. She's looked up, she's done so much work, she's a clinical hypnotherapist. And then the next one will come in and say, you have no idea what she's been through to get here today. And so all of those 10 Anne-Maries, they stand up for me. So no one can't touch me. No one. You can't get through those 10 Anne-Maries around me that I've created that are just there for me. And that's the kind of work that I do, so that you're always walking in your power and standing in your truth.
Let me just do the dance. Stand in your,
I'll do
your truth. And so, why did I make up the name of that show? Because we're standing in our truth.
Absolutely.
In our truth. Folks, please put some fire up in the room.
Hold on. What about when those 10 people are your own worst enemy? I mean, like self-sabotage.
Answer. Come on.
Yeah. Self-sabotage is possibly the cruelest friend that you have. Now, imagine that if that person that was inside your head that says all those really negative things to you, right, if they were a person outside of you and you had them as a friend, you wouldn't have them around for more than 5 minutes. You wouldn't have them. That's how you have to start treating your inner mind. You have to start treating it as your best friend and saying, I wouldn't have that off my best friend, so I'm not having it off of you, because it's a part of you. You have control over it.
That's right.
And when those 10 people that I interviewed, those 10 Anne-Maries, I interviewed them. I wanted to know they're up for the job, and they do me fine every day. If you've got 10 people around you who are your worst enemy, it's time for you to do that work, Natasha. Yeah. And I know that I could give you 100 other reasons of how you could skirt around it. There isn't any skirting around it. And more importantly, you deserve it. You actually deserve to know the real you. You actually deserve to know all of your foibles, but embrace all of those untouched parts of you, that potential that you haven't even got to yet. You deserve to find that out about yourself. You're missing out on a trick. You're missing out on the amazing, perfectly imperfect person that you are, and you deserve to know her.
Is there anybody else that wants to ask Anne-Marie any questions? We've got 10-15 minutes. I can extend this, so if there's anyone that's got any questions, ask now, because I'm sure you don't mind answering any questions.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? It's, oh God, she says, don't make me cry.
Bless. You know what?
That's how I feel. I know, I feel.
And it's beautiful, right? Because, and that's the other thing. I encourage people, if you want to ball, because the thing is, right, we're so intent on actually stopping people from feeling anything now. I see mums with babies. As soon as the baby starts crying, they want to put a dummy. I said, no, leave them. Let them cry. My own son will say, oh, she's got. I say, let her cry. How are we supposed to express and understand and know our emotions if every time we go to that point of crying that we stop ourselves, we go and eat something, or we get told, oh, no, don't worry about it. Oh, no, don't cry. Why don't cry? No, you cry, girl. You cry how you need to cry. Because when you cry, that is a sign to yourself that says, I'm letting go of something. I'm letting go of that person that I used to be. I'm not that person any longer. And when you cry and let it go, that allows you to move forward. If you constantly stop yourself crying, you constantly stop yourself from moving forward, because you're not accepting that that's the past. Let it go.
Yeah. And it's very hard to do that. In the mornings, if you go onto her Facebook page, Anne-Marie does affirmatives, and it's like probably 15-20 minutes. It's like a meditation. So if anyone, even if you're going to work in the morning, take out your phone, go onto Facebook, literally tap onto her page. I think your page is not it's a public page, isn't it?
It is a public page, yeah.
Right. So she has a public page, Anne-Marie Wickham. Just lock into in the mornings if you absolutely, and she's quite an early bird. She's always in little forest.
You'll be sick to death of me, honestly. You will.
But even if you don't catch her at 7 or you don't catch her at 8, guaranteed you can catch her after. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Look, that's right, Big Man Cole.
Big Man Cole. I love Big Man Cole. Big up, Big Man Cole.
Big up, Big Man Cole. Get that. So, please tune into it. And is there any other questions? I'm opening it out there for anyone who wants to hear anything else from Anne-Marie right now. As I said, she's got a book out, and it's From Fear to Love, 14 Key Self-Mastery Principles to Living Your Best Life in a Happy Flow. This is not hocus pocus. It's what we're all living right now. And you mentioned it earlier, which is the vegan. You remember, vegan, vegetarian. Oh, I'm a pescatarian.
Well, I mean, that just shows you the power of hypnotherapy. So I'm quite fussy about who I work with in terms of hypnotherapy, because whatever you're going to be going through, I'm going to be getting a bit of that. So I treated a woman who wanted to become vegetarian, and after that, I became vegan. I treated someone for I've done quite a few giving up smoking. I don't smoke anymore. There's so many things that I've done with other people and it's a joy, because if I'm doing a session on forgiveness, it's funny when I get people that have come to me. I've had 2 people pass away. They came to me and they both asked for the same thing. They asked me for forgiveness for members of their family. Isn't that strange?
Wow.
When you get to that point of knowing, and they both passed away with cancer, very sadly, but they both realized that, and there's a big one, they both realized that disease had come about because of the way that they were thinking and feeling about life. And they both came with the same, both asked for forgiveness of their sisters. Isn't that strange?
Wow.
And I did that with both of them, and they passed away peacefully. But whenever I have to work with somebody on really difficult stuff, it's a release for me as well. So you can imagine that's why it's so easy for me now, because time and time again I'm doing these sessions where I'm letting go, they're letting go, and it's just a fantastic way to live, because you're constantly cleansing yourself and replenishing yourself.
I'm going to ask you that, because it is a lot. I mean, that's energy. People don't realize that even when you're speaking to someone on the phone and they're having a bad day, that's their drama. That's their energy that you're taking on. How do you put that to one side and able to still manifest them and deliver them and still keep your clearing?
Well, for many years, I was always told, "You're crazy, Emily. She's so crazy." Right now, now my crazy is my energy, and people go, "Oh my God, you've got such fabulous energy." But 10 years ago, it was crazy. Now it's energy. I don't mind, but I have got a very strong power because I've had to have. So I can carry anybody that I work with. And I do EFT as well, which is an emotional freedom technique, which allows you to let go of limiting beliefs. Your lady there, Rachel, was just saying.
Oh, no, limiting beliefs. Yeah,
because some people need more intensive work. Yeah. Some people can do the work through life coaching. Some people need more to do it with hypnotherapy. And some people need to go to the next level of actually, when you do EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, you release it. You make a connection with the pain or the stuck energy, and you release it with your tapping. You tap in certain, in a certain process. Yeah. But it really does work. And I've done that with lots of people that have really had intensive beliefs that they just couldn't shake. And they've had to, it's a physical thing. They have to release it physically. So, that's, I put all the modalities together. I'm really an intuitive worker. There's not one set plan. You're not going to come to me and we're going to do one set thing. And that's why I don't really like to advertise too much, because I don't want people to come to me with this expectation of doing it this certain way. And when it's not that certain way, their limiting beliefs come up. Oh no, they're not doing it in the perfect order that I thought that they'd written it down in. Therefore, it's not going to work. You see, people come in like that. So, I prefer to work organically, and I'll work with you, and it's God-given, right? It comes to me and through me. Sometimes I will speak words and I think, I don't even know where that came from, but it's exactly what that client needed to hear. You know what I mean? And that happens more and more. The more that you do this kind of work, the more that you become, instead of becoming a person delivering healing, you become a channel, and it literally just comes to you and through you, and you give it to that person. So it doesn't take anything from me, because I'm just a conduit for it to happen.
I like that. It's a conduit. And so I was worried. I wanted people to hear that it's not draining you. You found a way to deal with no matter what the energy is, no matter how bad, no matter how, some energies can be really bad, and toxic, but it's bouncing that toxicity away and allowing you to still breathe power back into that person. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Thank you, Natasha. That was very kind. Please don't look at the typos.
Awesome.
Don't look at the typos, Natasha. Anyway, I don't mind. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? My typos are legendary. Debbie will tell you, my typos are legendary. You can't. How many people have had come to me and say, I've got your email, and it had like 4 typos, and I go, oh really? Okay, is that what you came to me for my admin skills? And they go, well, no, I came for the hypnotherapy. I go, should we stick with that then? People are so ready to just jump on the, because people are got so much angst. They want to hang something on something. Right. Instead of being free and open, let's just see how it goes. They constantly, it's the times that we're in. People need those strong foundations. And that's why I'm flourishing now where other people are struggling, because I've never had those strong foundations. So this is my world. Welcome to it. Yeah. And other people are like, this is really difficult. Or the foundation of everything that we knew is collapsing. Things that we believed all of our lives, it wasn't real. So it's all kind of scary for people because their infrastructure is collapsing. But for me, it was never there in the first place. So I've always been open to, hey, let's just see what happens.
And what would you say to those? And what would you say to those whose infrastructure is collapsing? What would you say?
I would say it's going to happen anyway. So you have a choice right now. You can choose to look and focus on what's not working and all the things that you're seeing crumbling. You can choose to look at that and feel that, because whatever you focus on, you are going to feel it. If you're going to focus on that, you're going to feel unsteady, you're going to feel nervous, you're going to feel discombobulated, you're going to feel anxious, you're going to feel like, I don't know what comes next. It's not going to make you feel very good. Even as I say those words, you can feel that in your stomach, right? Absolutely. Anxious, discombobulated, fearful, nervous, guilty, ashamed, all of those words.
Oy.
However, you can turn your eyes and you can go, wow, we are truly in the most exciting and amazing time of our lives. There will never be another time like this in our lifetime, right? We have been blessed. We have chosen to be here at this time to experience what's going on. And we are going to lead the way with love. We are going to lift ourselves out of whatever it is we're in with love. Love will lead the way. And any one of us that does that, as we all come together as a collective unity, we will start to see there will be shifts. Those people that are not feeling that, they will fall away. And those people that are, they will be ascending and rising. And that's how it will be. So make your choice. Do I choose happiness or do I choose sadness? It's your choice. No one can take it away from you, but make sure you make the right one.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Oh my God. You've been a blessing today.
My joy. My joy. My joy.
Please, if anyone could put some fire up in the chat room, I just want to see loads of fires and love hearts right now. If you can just spare me, I'm not begging you, I'm just asking you, please put some fire and love hearts in the chat room right now for Anne-Marie, who's taken out her time. As she just said, she doesn't advertise. She doesn't feel the need to advertise because she does it organically.
Yeah, and you attract what you are. You attract what you are. Yeah. So if you've got toxic people around you, they are a reflection of something that you're doing. So check yourself. She's always a blessing. Thank you.
Hey, you're a blessing.
Yeah.
Everybody, please.
Thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And thank you for your joy. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, you've got some lovely guests. You've got some lovely. Oh, wow.
Because I only surround myself with warm and good people.
Amen.
As I said, I feel blessed. How about I just say
we are blessed?
I feel we are blessed,
and we rise together. Always.
So to everybody, that's in the room, thank you for your presence. Thank you for listening into this wonderful lady, and anybody that wants to reach out to her, her name is Anne-Marie Wickham. Please check her out. Send messages. I'll get the email to her, or you can message her directly via Messenger. Is that okay for them to do that, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, it is. Will. Hey, Karen, my friend complete. You'll love her, pal. You'll love her.
Yeah, we could be here all day. I've got till 9:30, but it was supposed to be 9, but I extended it. I've gone in and extended it. But she's here, and as I said, before we actually go, one last tell everybody goodbye. I want you to say the last words, Anne-Marie, to everybody. Where they're going to get hold of you? Who do you want them to get in touch?
What?
Right.
I didn't get that bit.
If they want to get hold of you, do you want them to? I can either come to me or let them go straight to you onto your messenger.
Oh, I'm easy. I'm easy. You'll find me. You'll find.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Yeah. Valerie knows me very well. I'm on your friends page. So if they can't find me by myself, they'll find me on your friends page.
Yeah, absolutely. But my page is private still. I mean, they're fine. Yeah, no.
I'm very public.
No. Standing in my truth page, you can find everybody. It's got everybody in that page.
Yeah.
It's just that my Valerie M page is not public. I got some serious stalkers on that page, so I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But there you go. Thank you again. God bless you. I will see you in the new year.
Yes.
When you've got the new online program that's coming up,
yes,
we will do that. I will
Yeah.
send details because I know that Natasha wants your details. I know that Kim wants your details. I know people are asking. I know that Trinity wants your details. Rachel wants your details. Right, there's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot today. Thank you. Big man Carl, give thanks and praise every day. Complete small thank you. Yes, he says you're larger than life.
Oh, thank you.
I love you. God bless you. We will be back with Anne-Marie in the new year, probably the back end of January.
Yeah.
We will reschedule it. Hopefully by then you will have your new platform up and ready. She's in Essex. Do you go to other people? Do you travel to other people? Or do they come?
I've been doing a lot of work online. I've been running a lot of self-confidence for life success workshops online. Everybody's doing it now, and the hypnotherapy works the same online as it does if you come to me. I like to see you, but it still works the same. You know,
the personal touch works.
Yeah.
Lovely. God bless you all in the chat room. God bless you. God bless you to the world. We are out. So good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, Benny, whatever it is, wherever you are. Oh, someone says found Anne already. Supports you. Black Wall Street, London, and United We Rise UK supports you both. They're badass. Them two girls.
Can't wait to talk to you.
Huh?
I said I can't wait to talk to that lady. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah, no, badass.
Badass.
Badass. You need to get in Black Wall Street, London, and United We Rise UK. You will make, but you will make such a difference to their program. They've got a wicked program going on. Yeah, honestly.
I love that co-creating. I love it.
Well, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
This is a platform for it. And I just, as I said, I'm hoping that whatever we do here, whoever comes on, is spreading positivity.
Yeah. You're going to create great things, Val.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Take it.
Okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to reel it in. Good night, folks.
Good night.
I'm not eating all day. I'm hungry because I spent my day literally indulging and watching videos of this lady speak. And I'm telling you, please go onto her website. Even though she says it's old, go onto it. She's got a copious amount of videos, and they are life-changing videos.
Oh, please.
Please. I'm going to put one more graphic up before we sign out, because I hope I did put it in here. Please tell me I did. Oh, it looks like I didn't. That's a damn shame. But she runs a BU festival. I did put it in there, never mind. But there's one that you've got, and I'm going to put this picture up because there she is. Look. My girl. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Standing in my truth. Valerie M with the wonderful Anne-Marie Wickham. See you later. God bless you.
Right.
Bye-bye. See you later. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that she brought you enlightenment. I hope she gave you food for thought. I hope that she made you feel good on a Thursday night where we've just coming out of the first COVID lockdown. I hope she brought you hope. And even if you don't use her, there was something that you could take out of it to let you know that it's never too late for change. Never, ever, ever, ever too late for change. It's a good night from me. I'm going to actually go and have some food. Tomorrow is a music night. I've got a great, oh my God. I don't know how I'm managing to do 2 or 3 shows a week, but it can only get better. Anne-Marie has just been amazing. We had Natasha on a couple of weeks ago. It just keeps getting better. The most amazing people that I am humbled by that's coming onto the show. I mean, tomorrow I've got CKP. Now, I know it's musically based, but CKP is not just a musician. So he's going to come and liven up your Friday night tomorrow and play the most amazing soulful house music, a mixture of everything for all quarters around the world that anyone likes their music. And then I'm going to interview him for about 10-15 minutes. And then he's going to play out the night for only about another half an hour. So catch me for about an hour and 15 tomorrow on a Friday. It's called the Music Shop Show. And then Saturday, Saturday I'm not doing nothing. I'm actually staying in my bed. But Sunday, I've got the wonderful Nathan Smith, who's called One Nathan Smith, footballer who plays right now, but he runs a foundation. He deals with Kick It. He also runs violence against violence. Why can I never remember it? VPC, the Violence Protective Corporation, which he uses young kids to get them off the street, to give them protection, work alongside the police to make sure that our kids are being protected. This guy's taken this all up upon himself. He deals with meditation. He also runs the vegan and food vibe. Badass. He is going to give you nothing but jokes. And he also plays for the Jamaican national team, even though he plays here. There's a lot about him. And that's on Sunday. And that would end our week. I've got some fabulous news coming up. I'm also going to be on a radio station. I didn't ask for it. Didn't want it. I have no idea why I'm going to be on a radio station. But when I've run it with my friends and everybody else, everyone is saying, yeah, nice one. I don't know. I'll let you know when I announce the Nas Dos from Wales. I'm going to stop going on now, but let me end the show with peace, love, harmony. Anyone, I want to give big up loves to my bestie, Diane, whose mother passed away last week. Whatever your beliefs are, there's only one universal belief that we should still have, is the universe, God, faith, and healing, and your spirituality. You got all of those encompassed into one. You will live with love. No matter how angry you get, no matter how envious you may get, if you could try and encompass those in your life, things can be so much easier. And as Anne-Marie said earlier, the infrastructure is crumbling, but you can hold those walls up. Stick your hands out and hold your walls up, and we're going to get through this together. I love you all. Good night, and God bless. Peace out.